Okay, so we have, like I said, we have 4 people in class, and three. I thought 3 of you were going to be close by, and one of you was going to be in Omaha. Is that where Brian is?
Uh, I think so. Yeah.
And because of that, and because of the way things are going with the coronavirus, it seems like we should get started today, at least with trying to get a feel for what it would be like if we had to do Canvas um, and conference. And I think you'll be. Have you ever done a Canvas conference before?
No, this is my first time.
Okay, so so I can share anything that I want to with you. I'm just gonna share a document with you, and oh, hang on. Um, Give me a second. I have to show you how it works. Do you see on your screen a blue plus, a circle on the bottom left with a blue plus sign?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so that blue plus is going to allow you to share any document on your computer with me. So let's say you are working on um, a proposal, or in our class, it would be potentially a video that you would be working on, because you might want to share a video with us as we are in a conference like this. Then you would share this while we are in an online conference room like this, and we would all have a chance to watch it while we are in an online conference room together. And it would be like we're in a room together. So I'm going to share just any document on my screen right now, and um, give me just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's something uploading. You should see it on your screen here soon. Tell me when you see it.
I see Warriors Sports Network.
Okay, so it was just a graphic that I could just share anything with you,
Oh, cool.
and you could do anything on your computer with me. So, so if I wanted to upload a video, it would have taken more time, and I could have started uploading it and been ready to share it with you. But it gives me the chance, if I had to be at home and you had to be at home, then we could be doing anything we would do in a normal classroom.
Cool.
So the the end all be all today. What we're going to do is just talk through the beginning. We're recording this class so Shalom can see it, and if there's another student that's going to join us, then she can see us too. I've never met her, so I'm still waiting to see if she joins us or not. So the syllabus looks something like this. What's your major?
My major is youth ministry.
Okay, so recreation ministry is one of the coolest classes that I've ever taught at Calvary, And the reason that it's one of the coolest classes is because we have a chance to use activity only. We don't really lecture in this class. We use activity to be able to take somebody through building the relationships in a group from not knowing each other to where you build trust, and then you build relationships through 5 steps. And you start with building trust, and you end up having a very strong, at the very end, a very strong spiritual connection where you can build a rapport with them and can disciple them for really a great discipleship type of a connection. But so many times we don't necessarily know how to get somebody from, oh my goodness, I just met you on the street, to getting them to where they can share spiritually some really tough things. And in a youth group kind of a setting, it's really hard to get from the casual connection to a deeper, more meaningful connection. And we're going to use games and activities to be able to get there and show a youth leader or show a group leader how to use games and activities to get there. And in order to do that, we could do lectures, but that doesn't prove anything to anybody. And so I've always done it to where when we had bigger classes, we would always have the students in class, and we would always have them go through the activities together. And at the beginning of class, they never knew each other, but at the end of class, they would always have gone through these groups of activities. At the beginning, they were bond building activities, and at the end, they were really meaningful activities where they were sharing some really deep, powerful things with each other. And they would leave at the end of the class with some really deep, powerful bonds. And that's why I enjoyed the particular class, because it built that, but then they used that to be able to go into their youth groups to be able to know how to build those same types of bonds in their youth groups. And in the book that we have, it's some of the activities are cheesy. Some of the activities are not ones that you would pick, but it still shows you how you can use those types of activities, and you can use your own prerogative as how you can use those same types of activities to find the ones that you would like in those same subject areas to be able to get the same thing accomplished. So as we have transitioned now to where we're going to go online, you need a group, and Shalom needs a group, and Brian needs a group, and because we can't do it all here together, and probably with the coronavirus, we're not going to be able to do it all here together anyway. And so you'll notice that probably I'm going to need you to choose some of your basketball players to become a group, even if it's only 3 of them. It doesn't have to be all of them. And as you choose which ones, I think it would be potentially, and maybe you won't even choose basketball players. I think you might, just because I know that would probably be an important group to you. And if you don't want to choose them, you could choose somebody else. But you're going to build bonds to the point where it would be important, and I think that would be really valuable if you choose a group that you could see growth happen to where there would be a meaningful end. Same as Shalom, and same as anybody. If there is a way that you could choose a group that would be if you could start with having less of a bond and grow towards more of a bond and have it be a meaningful situation, it would be way more powerful than if you didn't. So if you are taking the lessons that we learn and putting them to work by doing activities with this group that we're going to ask you to, and you're going to video and show these videos to us, then we're going to be watching you do these activities, and you're going to be explaining what kind of transitions that your group is going through in the midst of learning the lessons that these activities are providing. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
If you go on Canvas right now, you might have it up on your screen, you might not, because you have only one computer probably. But
Sure.
the first thing you're going to come to is I'm looking at another computer right now. The first week, there's one assignment that's going to say find your group, and it's going to be important for you to be able to connect with a group and to be able to say I need 8 weeks from you, and to be able to say we're going to meet at once a week for at least an hour, because I'm going to have some activities to take you through, and some of the activities are going to be easy and somewhat fun, and some of the activities are going to be somewhat difficult, because it's going to be it's not going to all be fun and games. Some of them are going to be more towards focused towards learning to know them, and learning to know some towards the end, learning to know some of the things that they struggle with, learning to know some of the things that you could help support them in, and learning to know some of the things that you could become more of a friend to them and support them and pray for them in. And so that friendship and that bond is really going to be important, that you choose wisely. So don't choose your group based on just having fun with them. Choose your group based on the kind of bond and people who are going to take it seriously, and ask those people who you think would take it seriously with you. And if you can find at least 3 people who would meet once a week with you, then you found your group. And if you can find 3 to 5, then you found your group.
Okay.
Okay, so finding a group is one. Another assignment that you have on Canvas would be introductions. Introductions would be just so you guys, all 4 of you, could introduce yourselves, what you're doing at Calvary, because I'm trying to connect everybody that is coming from separate places, okay, and make sure everybody is coming, and because like you're gonna all be watching each other's videos, and I want to be able to connect you starting from the start, and you're going to introduce yourselves in the discussion part on Canvas, so look for that.
Okay.
Now there's another assignment, and it's called a rope problem, and there's a video with 2 people, and they're tied together with a rope, and they can't get undone, and you'll have to watch the video, and there's a way to solve the problem, and you could go on YouTube and you could figure it out, but I'm going to ask you not to, because it's actually an activity that you can do with a youth group that's incredibly powerful. And if you are going to problem solve and do a bond building activity, which is a very basic activity that you start with to try to build a bond with other people, you have to really work hard together to try to get something accomplished as a group. And if you can work hard to get something accomplished as a group, and you can see that you can get it done, like think about your basketball team. You work hard, you get something accomplished, and you have bonds that are created, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing happens in any kind of a group setting. And in this situation, if you had a problem, it's a rope problem because two people are tied together and you can't get out of it by untying the rope. You have to get out of it in another way. And it's asking you to creatively solve the problem and to get untied or to get separated from each other without untying the rope. And there's a way to do it without untying the rope. And it's asking you to solve the problem while you're on videotape. And it's not, I think it asks you to try it for 20 minutes and then see if you can get it done in 20 minutes. And so I'm going to ask you to put a video on yourself and to try it with one other person and see, or else have two other people try it, and you can in your group, and then you can encourage them in how to and see if you can get them encouraged with how to do it. And maybe you can look on YouTube and see how it's done and see if you can get them to do it by being more of an administrator, without giving them the hints, just maybe just a few hints. Does that make sense? Because it's a powerful activity. And when you're done, then at that point, that's going to be our first video that we are going to look at next week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because in the discussion time, then we'll have a chance to share that with each other. And then we're done with this first week. So as we go through, we have and then I'm going to go to the second week too. We have, I need you to make sure that you get this book, because this book is really important, and it's a fascinating book. If you don't have it yet and you need to read it, then come to my office and you can get it from me to read it, because the first reading assignment is due on April the 2nd.
Okay.
So you can look at that, okay?
Alright, what book is it again?
Give me a second, I'll find you. Okay, the title that he has is Building Community in a Youth Group.
Sounds like a good.
The title is what I didn't know. The name of the author is Denny Rydberg. Denny Rydberg is, I've looked at so many books for a class like this, and there's people who write many books with just all kinds of activities listed. But this book is so much more than just a list of activities that you can do in your free time as a youth leader. This is a strategic book for how to build steps in the relationships of your kids. And that's what makes it so powerful. And it really truly works. And that's what we're here to try to prove again is we're trying to here to prove to see if that book again is going to work and to build those relationships, because activities are only activities, and if you can't work to use them to build those relationships, then there's no real reason to do them except to kill free time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so as we go through this class, the incredible goal that we have is to be able to see what activities can be used for, to be able to build and to be able to see what God can do to be able to blow people away with taking a relationship from point A to point Z. And I hope that I'm going to be able to prove to you that with activities, we could go way farther than we can go without activities, because with the ability to problem solve, with the ability to be successful in different challenges, you can do things that you can't do with just talking to somebody. And I think we're going to find that activities can be a powerful, powerful tool. The syllabus, as we go through, the syllabus has different times when you are going to be graded for leading an activity with your group. And so you're going to obviously video those times, and then you're going to come back and show those videos to us. And you're going to take an activity from the book in each level, and you're going to show your teaching that activity to your group by video to us. And I'll prepare you for that as we conference together, and kind of tell you what's expected in that. But that's going to be something that you're graded on. And so I need you to take that seriously. But it's going to be fun. You'll have a great time teaching those activities to your group, and you'll be seeing those relationships build. And I think it's going to be meaningful to your group if you can again find your group. If you do a good job of finding your group and do a good job of really talking to them and telling them, hey, this is really going to be a good thing if you take it seriously. The second thing is you're going to come up with a philosophy of leadership using activities. And that's going to be done at the end of this semester, and that's going to be my test, because you're gonna write what your philosophy is of what leadership could mean when you use activities, and either you're going to write down that leadership is can be used using activities by killing time, or you're going to write quite a bit about how it develops people. And it'll be interesting to see what your philosophy develops into. And I'll be able to test to see what kind of a professor I am at the end of a semester. You're going to be graded over reading of your textbooks, so that's why it's important for you to get started with that. You're going to be graded over one test at the end of the semester, and we will, like when I'm talking to you, we will have notes over just a little bit of what Denny Ryberg says in his book, and that's what the tests are going to be over. They're pretty simple. It's nothing too intense at all. Basic principles of what he believes. It would be, most of his book is about activities, and it's not, there's not much to test about, but there is a little bit principle-wise. And then at the very end, you're going to have a recreational activity. I call it a disc, but you're going to find a way to do an electronic disc or electrical copy of what your activities for your youth group are going to mean. So whether it's going to be on Google Drive or whatever kind of electrical copy of how you're going to keep your activities, you're going to start compiling those activities for you and your youth group. And that's going to be graded as well. And then we're done.
Cool.
Questions?
Not yet, but if I think of any, I'll ask them.
Okay. So for next Thursday, look at Canvas, and the very first thing that pops up is the first are the modules. And I don't know if you're used to looking at modules, but look at the very first module, and it has all of those assignments that I just listed for the first, where you have to introduce yourself and find your group and so forth. And as long as you follow the module for the first week, then you know that you're good to go.
Cool. One question that I have is, when we find our small group, what if someone can't make it to the group? Can we bring someone else in to fill their spot?
You can, because there's always going to be emergencies. There's always going to be emergencies, but try to be as proactive as you can, because if one of they're going to be uncomfortable in some of the activities. If there's an activity in chapter 4, it's called deeper sharing, where you have to share things that you're struggling with, and if all of a sudden you guys start sharing things, you've already had some bond building activities, and you probably have some connecting, have a lot of connections already. And if you brought somebody in that wasn't prepared to all of a sudden go into weird questions, because some they will potentially be a little bit struggling more than other members of your group, because they're going to get used to some of the activities a little bit more than bringing somebody cold in. And so it's not bad to bring somebody in new, especially if they're flexible, but ask them if they would really commit to it, and at least then you will have a head start and there won't be as many emergencies.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And then I also think it would be worth talking to Coach Sanders and asking if there was about next year in regards to basketball, and asking if he had some wisdom in regards to building rapport on the basketball team, and how you could use this class to do that. You don't have to do that at all, but I think it's very valuable if you wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be good too, I think.
From a leadership perspective, going in as a junior and being proactive like that, I think would be very valuable.
I do too.
So, okay, I will let you go, and you yell at me if you have any questions. Hey, do you see the chat on Canvas? Not here, but on Canvas. Did you see the chat line on Canvas? Not on.
The chat. Yeah, the chat line. Yeah, I see it.
Not on here. Could you chat me your phone number on Canvas, so that if I needed to text you for any situation that I could do that?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I appreciate it. I'll let you go for now. You guys have a good week.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Oh, there's 3 dots on the very upper right-hand square.
Yeah.
That's how you end the meeting.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
See ya.
Good one.
Welcome to Recreational Leadership. I am excited to have you all join us in class. I just got done talking with Tobias and conferencing in with him on Canvas conferencing, and I wanted to make a video and make sure that we were all on the same page in regards to class. The class meets every Thursday at 8 o'clock until 11 is when we're scheduled to meet. And it appears now that we are at one point going to potentially have different students, some on campus and some off campus. And so we're going to use the Canvas opportunity to use their conference room in the Canvas online section that they have, to be able to do that online opportunity that they give us in that conference room, to be able to share videos with each other while we're in that conference room together. And it'll give us the opportunity to, even if we're not all together, to be able to share that as meaningful as possible while we're even not in the same class together, in the same location together, I'm sorry. So I wanted to at least go through the syllabus with you to make sure that we all get started together. The obviously the requirements as we go through. First of all, the goal of recreational leadership is for you as a youth leader to be able to use activities in a exceptional manner. Many youth leaders feel like games and activities are only for killing time or having fun with kids, and that, I've learned through the years, is really a wrong answer. Activities are used and can be used for so much more. Activities should be used for building relationships, and Denny Rydberg, in the text that we have, has found out how to build relationships, starting from the very core where you don't know each other, to the very end, to where you are having very deep, meaningful, spiritual bonding relationships. And he takes us through using activities and going through 5 steps, and starting by building bonds, and then going deeper each step until at the very top of the ladder is having satisfying, deep bonds where we can share Jesus with each other and disciple each other and really grow in our relationship with Jesus with each other. And sometimes just talking with each other doesn't do that same thing. And being able to accomplish tough goals and doing tough activities with objectives that are difficult, and really focusing on together and cheering each other on. Some of those activities, and being successful in some of those activities, they can do things that just living life together can't do. And so these activities are specifically designed to be able to help us go through these steps together with our groups that we're going to form But then because we have gone through that as a class, we're going to be able to take others through those same types of steps as well. Because if we're going to be youth leaders, we have to be experts at taking others through those steps. Otherwise, we're going to always stay in that same level with our kids and never get past building bonds with each other. And if you can't ever get past building bonds, then your youth group is never going to build trust with each other enough to be able to get to the point where they can get to the desire of wanting to be discipled and wanting to share really deep stuff with each other. So the importance of what we're talking about is really big. And so I challenge you to watch the videos that we have in the module number 1. We have the syllabus here. I'm going to go through here, and I really need to stop.